This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Littleton, Colorado. I am here at the Denver Equestrians Riding School. Since 2009, this family-friendly environment has been raising the standards for the ride of your life. I'm here with Corinne. Let me ask you, first of all, this is something that began for you back when you were 8 years old. You took a ride, I believe, for a birthday, and the passion began. Share with me a little bit how someone who grows up in urban Minneapolis finds themselves here in Denver, Colorado, providing this service.
Yes, I went on a trail ride with my dad for my 8th birthday and fell in love with horses, but I was an inner city girl, and it was a really difficult time to even get near a farm. So I really built this business model for kids that don't live out in the country and don't have horses in their backyard. So that's why we're kind of landlocked here in Littleton.
So kind of neat the fact that this was a ride was given to you, and now you're able to give it to the youth out there and make it really easy and accessible for folks where they don't have to drive a lot of miles to get to such a stable.
Right, and especially at our facility, you don't need to own your own horse. So we have 25 school horses, and we provide the horses and the equipment for the kids, which is different than a boarding facility where each person would have to own their own horse to participate.
That makes it even easier. You've got, I mean, it's quite a complex here. We're talking about 32,000 square feet, both indoor and outdoor facility here. How many horses, not only your own horses, but other people's horses, how many total are housed here on a typical day?
We average around 40 horses. We are zoned for 50, but a lot of our stalls that we have, we use for tacking up the horses and for feed stalls and things like that. So they're not all housing a horse.
Interesting. Like we said, this was the ride was given as a gift to you. Now we've got somebody out there who maybe has never ridden a horse before. Let's talk about the rider assessment. What takes place there? Is that where a new person would learn a little bit?
Yes, so we start all of our new clients with a rider assessment, and that if you're 6 years old or you're 60 years old, we still start with the same process. And that is a tour of the facility, an introduction to our process, because we're very buttoned up on how we groom the horses and how we tack the horses and take care of them. And so we want each new client to experience that and get fully trained in on that. Then during their ride, they actually are assessed by the trainer for the level, their skill level at the time. And which horses are best for them, which trainers are best for them, and if there are group programs that they would fit into.
I mean, really a well-rounded education for all different types of levels. We're talking about folks that just want to ride for fun. You've got quite a few clubs there for the youth, as well as those that want to maybe ride a little more professional and go with a horse show team. Tell me a little bit about those programs.
Right, yes. So we have every level of participation, really starting at 1 time per week. Some clients ride just 1 time per week. Some ride 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. All the way up to the horse show programs. That's a 2 rides per week requirement in order to go out onto the horse show field with our trainers and our horses.
Excellent. Not only learning how to ride, but even what to wear. I mean, is that some of the things that some of the students understand and learn so they can hit the local tack shops and be confident?
Yes, we teach them literally everything, from the names of the parts of the equipment to the names of the parts of the horses to first aid care. We really have education on every level for the equestrian.
Wonderful. I mean, some of those we're talking about individual classes, group classes, even horse camps that take place, which is really neat. Some of these are with certified curriculums, I understand, and so really it's quite an education here.
Thank you. Yes, that's what our mission is.
That is amazing. What are some of the horse camps that people take? How long do those take normally?
So we have camps that run in fall break, winter break, spring break, and then also all summer long. In the summer, it's a week-long program. Some kids participate up to 6 weeks in a row, is probably our longest camper. Each week is developed for the skill set of the riders that are attending. So everywhere from first-time beginner campers to advanced jumping campers, we have it all.
So that assessment is pretty important, because we're talking about a very customized approach you take with each one of the people here, regardless of age, regardless of level, where they're at. One of the things I see is that obviously this is a passion that began for you when you were young, and I imagine for a lot of folks. What about for these folks that maybe have ridden in the past and they're ready to get back on the horse again, maybe clean up their rusty stirrups? Tell me about those programs for adults.
Yes, so a lot of us, me included, once we had children, and kind of the focus changes. We get a little bit away from the horses. And when my kids went back to school, that's when I started teaching again, as soon as my youngest was in kindergarten, and the passion just reignited. So we have that program available for people that maybe got away from it after college and would like to get started again. And we really walk them through from the very first steps to how to get started to those that have competed before and want to compete again.
I like it because of the fact that everything's so electronic anymore. We have kids sitting on electronics. We have them watching TV all the time. I mean, you basically say there's a healthy rider revolution going on. Tell me what you mean by that.
Yes, so we do have a Healthy Rider program that right now is targeted towards adult riders, and we use yoga for riders, we have equestrian fitness classes, we have a nutrition program teamed with the group lessons that we offer. We've gotten a lot of interest from parents that want their children to be a part of this too, so we're looking at expanding that program into the youth groups.
I would imagine so, but what a great thing for adults right now that you offer. Obviously, like you said earlier, you actually supply the horses, which is really neat because, I mean, that's quite an expensive first step for somebody who just wants to kind of fill the waters, if you will. You supply the horses as well as we're talking about educated trainers that is really a powerful support staff for the folks that come here. Is that right?
Yes, thank you. Well, we really invest in our staff, and I really believe in everybody that we have here. They have such a huge contribution into what we do as a team, and I think that's really what makes us stand apart.
Absolutely. Like we said before, this is not only your horses here, but this is a full-service boarding for folks out there that maybe don't have a place to put their horse. This has to be great for them as far as having an indoor and an outdoor arena, knowing their horses are well kept for.
Yes, we do have a boarding program. We also are a training facility and educating facility. So all of our boarders are required to have 3 contacts per week with a trainer.
That is amazing. I mean, so we're talking, we have heated still buildings, we have matted stalls, we've got 24/7 monitoring, 3 times a day, actual feeding. This really has to make a horse owner feel pretty peace of mind at night.
Thank you. Well, our horses are definitely pampered and well cared for.
That is wonderful. Let me ask you this. Somebody out there who has a child who basically maybe wants to do something like this. Maybe for myself, I've never even ridden a horse but once or twice in my life, but I've got a child who wants to do it. But if I don't know much about it as a parent, do you kind of help us out in that way to get the child involved?
We do. We educate the children as well as the parents. So most of our parents, because of where we are located in the city, are not from a farming background or a ranching background, and they really have very little knowledge. They just know that their child fell in love with My Little Pony or, horses as a kid, and they want to help their kids.
Wonderful. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you're going to learn more about the program. Also, take a look at their staff. We're talking they have complete profiles there of some of their trainers as well. You can also take a look at the calendar and take a look at the different classes they have out there to offer. We're talking about complete classes and clubs for the youth, as well as some great programs for adults. And like she says, if this is something you've put off to the side a little bit while you've raised a family and you want to get back on the horse, they've got great programs for that as well. And most importantly, check out the testimonials. We're talking about folks who have been around. They've gone to many boarding places before, and this by far is their top choice. They're very happy to have somewhere close and nearby, serving the folks here of Littleton as well as Denver. Let me ask you this. Obviously, it was important for your father to give you this gift, the adventure of a horse, if you will. Is this something now with your own family that you're able to share with your kids?
I have boys, and my boys say that this is my thing. Mom, riding is your thing. So they don't participate. What I really enjoy is seeing the hundreds of little girls that we have come through the doors each week. That really puts a smile on my face and brings me right back to when I was 8 years old.
That has got to be so cool for you because of the fact that you realized as a youth, you did your best to try to get as close to the horse as you can. I mean, be it working or doing whatever. This is an easy way for them to come in and not only do this in a way where it's affordable because you don't have to have your own horse, but also to come in where you're at and really, as a customized approach on what type of training they're going to be provided.
Yes, and we do offer both disciplines, English and Western riding, so that's important to note also.
Excellent. Last time viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see their contact information right there. That is the Denver Equestrians Riding School since 2009. We're talking about raising the standards for the ride of your life. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, Now you know.